Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, A Homesteader's Life. Today, hopefully you're having an absolutely amazing day. I've been up extremely early in the morning. I've been trying to finish canning, so today I'm going to try to finish my long beans. And I've been trying to finish these for a couple of days. I have done a couple of them, but I said, well, let me share the process with you all. So I got this bucket. I actually washed these yesterday. Have two more that I have to wash baskets, but we're going to start on these. And I'm going to process these in my jars as well. I did find some jars at Walmart, yay. I couldn't find them at first, but I did find them. So what we're going to do with these is we're going to make it like a Korean style. Normally I just put them in chicken broth, and I season them and I seal them. But I said, let me try a different take on them. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. And my mother gave me an actually idea too. She said, cut them in half. We used to do that back in the day. We used to cut our long beans in half. And so I said, okay, well, let me do that. And so what I'm going to do, what I'm doing right now is cut them in half. What I did last night to the long beans is I cleaned them very good, and then I put lemon and salt on them. Everything is going to be the same temperature. I sterilized my jars last night. I have my processor on the stove. These jars are all lukewarm, so the water on the stove is actually warm as well. These are going to actually process for 20 minutes, but this is probably one of the easiest things. Now you can keep them long if you choose to, but I am choosing to cut them like you see in the can. So, and my mom gave me that idea too. She said, she said that's the way they used to sit on the porch and used to do them. So I said, you know, let me go and do that myself. So I have many of them with them long like this, already not cut, just cleaned, and I filled the jars up with them, and I put some spices in them. But with these, I'm going to actually cut. And my dog is up, and he's supposed to be in the back. He's telling me, no, I'm not. I'm going to sit in here with you because I know something's going to drop on the floor. So I'm just doing that right now. So how have you guys been doing? It has been absolutely busy on the farm. And it was raining here last night, pretty heavy. And it's beautiful when it rains out here because, granted, I'm from California, so when it normally rains, and prayers to the people out in Cali that heat wave is hitting. I have family, close friends still out there. I'm praying for that weather to change. Everybody trying to get their fall planting season going, and it looks like the temperatures out in Cali is just constantly increasing. It's putting a heavy load on the actual power grids. I know that he's having people turn off their electricity, their air conditioners at certain times. And if they got those cars, the battery cars, they can't actually charge them at a certain time. It's craziness going on in some parts of the country. Everywhere got something going on. So, yeah. But when it rains out here so far, it creates a growing season out in the garden. This morning I didn't actually go out to the garden because it was still pretty dark, but I could still see because we have lights on the property. So I went out there and fed the animals, but I didn't go around to the other part of the property, to the garden area. but I will go out there when it get a little bit more light out there, and it's getting there now. So I'm quite tired today, but that's okay. I knew during harvesting season, you're going to be tired because you have so much that you have to do. I mean, you're harvesting a lot if you have planted a lot for the summer. For the summer, in the summer, you're gonna have a lot that you have to harvest. And I am very grateful that we had a good harvest. So they're still quite warm, but that's okay. Everything is going to be the same temp. I'm going to move as fast as I can here, but it'll be okay. So yeah, we went over to yesterday. Was it yesterday? No, it was actually Saturday. My husband and I took a trip up to Walmart. Got that video up. Please go check that out. You're just hanging out with me. It's a vlog that I'm not hanging out at Walmart. I needed to pick up some things, but I took you along with me. So check that video out. And I was looking for these size quartz jars, and I couldn't find them where I was, so I thought I was going to have to order them, but thank God I went on the other side where the meat and the deli department, they had a big wall full of them right there. So that was a great thing for me, not have to order them and have them shipped to me. And child shipping, you don't know when you're gonna get your stuff. So that was good for me. So, but I went over to check out. I'd like to keep you guys informed that don't have a farm or are not raising animals. The prices on the meats and the canned foods and things like that, I like to try to keep you guys still abreast on if the prices are changing out here if you don't live out in Georgia. Normally, we like going to the butcher, but I will. In the early parts of the year, I was stocking up on a lot of chicken and beef and pork and sausages at Walmart. That's when the prices were very low, but I knew they were going to start increasing. So that was months ago when the actual quarters were $5, the 10-pound quarters were $5, and the 5-pound legs were $5. So yeah, the quarters were $6 and the legs were $5 when I was doing it, and the cans were $2 for $1. So that's how long ago it was. When my husband and I kind of felt the shifting, and we kind of ran with that and started preparing for it early. So I still go up there when I need to pick up things. It's probably about a 30 to 45-minute drive from where we are. So we don't go too often. We only go if we need to. But so I went up there on Saturday with my husband. And normally he doesn't go with me, but I was very happy that he did, because normally he stays on the property and he's building something. He's doing something because he's a trucker. So when he gets home at the end of the week, he likes to put his time in on making sure everything that I need is done before he leaves again on the road. So we had a great time going up there together. And so when I went over to the canned food is the actual Walmart brand is staying steady at the price of 88 cents and 99 cents a can, which is still higher than where it was. But if you would ask me, I would still recommend you buy the store brands. Don't buy the Del Montes and all that stuff, because they're going for $1.27, 30 and up. That's why I got another video, but I recreated one of my mother's favorite canned foods, and it's the okra, tomato, and corn. And when she went and seen the price of it, she was like, I'm not buying this for $1.37 a can. And when she was buying it, it was cheaper than that. So we'll put a couple more in there. So I started recreating it for her, and she's a big soup lover, and I have made her soups for her. And so that's what we're doing now. I'm like, no, that's a waste of money. But getting back to the cans, the actual Walmart brand is staying the same, hasn't went up too much in the couple of months that I've seen it. It's still at the 88, 90 cents, 67 cents. So it hasn't went up that much. But it's still better than buying the ones for $1 and up. And you want to at least buy a case, which is of 12, and store it. Store it. You want to store it. So, and these have been sitting for a while, so that's why I'm trying to get to these. I got still, some that I have to harvest, and so I don't want to lose these. So that's why I'm working on them right now, because you have so much, and that's why I try to keep as much in the ground, not move it until I'm ready to actually start working on it. But for some reason, I moved a batch of these early and was still working on something else. And I said, oh my God, I have to get to these lung beans. Move. Thank you. I have to get to these long beans, so that's what I'm doing. Because you don't want to lose this stuff, guys. I'm telling you, when you're gardening, you put a lot of time into nourishing those plants, that soil, and how did I just, none of them got in there. Is that something? How did that happen? You spend a lot of time nourishing your plants and protecting them from the harsh weathers that may come abruptly and come during that time. And especially in the summer, you get some harsh summer. The heat, you're protecting. You're doing a lot. You're making sure they're got the right nutrient balance. You're checking on them constantly. So you put a lot of time and investment into taking care of them while they're in the ground. So of course, when it's time to harvest them, you don't want to lose anything. And so I have to constantly keep that in mind, because this can get overwhelming. Not a bad overwhelming, but you're always checking like, okay, where am I going to start? Where am I going to start? Where am I going to start? And that can get overwhelming because you think about, where am I going to start? What am I going to do first? What should I do first? So I know every year gets better with your preparation and things, but yeah, it always kind of puts you in that mind frame. Where am I going to start? Where am I going to start? Yeah. So I'm pushing it down because I'm going to add stuff in there. So I might have to take a couple of things out of some of them. Let me see something. Hold on. I might, because, yeah, I think I will have to. Because I'm going to add onion. I'm going to add onion. Those jars are still pretty warm. Yeah, I'm going to add onion. And I'm probably going to add some tomato. I want to add some sweet potato in there. But if the jars are too full at the top, just at that 1-inch head space, I won't be able to. So I'm gonna have to take some out and fill it with other things, other goodies. That's what I'm going to do, because I want to put those flavors in there. And you don't want to go over your 1-inch head space because your jars will not seal properly. So you want to be careful. I'm going to keep it right there. See? I'm going to keep it right there. Then I can actually put the other ingredients in. But if it's too high, I won't be able to. So I'm going to take some of them out of the jars. I forgot all about that. When I get to talking to you, family, I start forgetting stuff. So I'm going to do that. It didn't take me a long time to do the jars. So, okay. And it helps when they already washed and you've done all that good stuff to them. So, I'm going to take some from this jar. That gives me enough room there. Take it from this jar. That gives me enough room there. And take a little bit from this jar as well. And that gives me enough room in there. So that I can add my other ingredients in there. So, okay, so let's get started. I'm going to cut some onion. Because, you know, you always have to add onion. And these are the things that will sit in there with the beans, because my beans already have onions in them. The ones I still have on my shelf. The ones I did actually last night also have onions in it. The only thing they don't have is like the ginger. They don't have ginger. And I'm going to add ginger in it this time. Fresh ginger. So, cut this. And I think this bowl will be enough for all the cans. I'm pretty sure. And it's going to soak into there. And even when you pressure it, those flavors is going to be absolutely amazing. So, of course, I'm cutting with the wrong knife, but just going to be a little careful. And ginger, of course, I did not grow it. I wish I did, but I didn't. I don't even know if it grows good over in my zone. That's something y'all probably need to check on. Okay, let me cut this up. Well, I think I'm probably going to do some more because I love ginger. Let's do one more. And see if this is enough. Hopefully this one, because I like a lot of ginger. A lot of people may not, but I love ginger in food. I love a lot of Korean flavors in my food. Even when I'm making my dressings and my marinade sauces, I use a lot of Korean spices. I love the Korean hot sauce. I love those. I used to do a lot of Korean noodles. I want to do a retake, but I never got a chance to really do a retake on the Korean noodles that's in that bag because it has so much sodium in it, and I just haven't had time. So I had to stop actually eating that because it was so much sodium. But I love those spicy noodles. But, you know, I know that's not good for you, so I don't eat them anymore. Until I do my own retake on them, I'll leave them alone for a minute. And it's been a while, too. And I used to do a retake, a simple retake on them with these vegan noodles that I used to get. But I can no longer find those vegan noodles at Sprouts and Whole Foods, so had to give it up because I can't find the actual noodles no more. Here's the sweet potato from my garden. And you know how, if you know people that put actual potatoes with their string beans, I'm going to use sweet potato. I didn't get a really big potato harvest. It was not a real big one. It was okay. But of course, next year, I'll never not try. I'll try again next year and do it. I didn't get a real big one. I got a lot of fingerling potatoes, and that was, you know, okay, but I can't do too much with those, a lot with those. So I just use those in breakfast burritos and stuff like that. So I'm going to try again, of course. I'm never not going to try. But I just didn't do a good one this year. So, and it's going to be like that sometime. You're going to have those times that it's not going to be a good one, and it's not going to be a success like you wanted it to be, but that's okay. Don't stop. Keep going. Don't stop. And you just keep going. I'm going to cut these kind of small enough that I can put everything else in. A little bit smaller as well, because they're going to go in here with everything else. So, and then I'll see if I can add the tomatoes, but I probably won't be able to, and that's okay with this batch. But I have plenty more I got to do. So they're going to be in there somewhere. I'm going to do some stewed tomatoes. I have to do some stewed tomatoes actually today. So let me show you how I'm going to do it. So here's the jar here. I'm going to put the the sweet potato on top, some onion, and some ginger. And that's what it's going to look like, guys. Okay? So I still can put a little bit more, so I am. It's at the 1-inch headspace. Always remember that. And I'm going to put another thing of onion. So with that, I'm going to put some garlic. Some red pepper flakes for just a little bit of heat. I love a little bit of heat, guys. And some cayenne. Remember, I already put the salt in them yesterday, so I'm not going to put any salt. And that's it. Because this cayenne is really not spicy at all. This is what it looks like, guys. that pretty? Okay. So, getting kind of hot in here, all the lights I got on. Okay, so let's go for the next one. We're gonna put them in, top, get some ginger, and then we're gonna put some onion. From there, this is how easy it is, guys. Get some garlic in there. Okay, guys, I'm gonna. Okay, guys, I did add the tomatoes in here. I had enough room to add tomatoes. Now what I'm doing is I'm adding the water. Normally, I would add chicken broth or vegetable broth. I thought I had some in the house, but I don't. It's all in the other shed on the property, and I do not feel like going out there and getting it. So I'm just going to fill it up with water. But normally I would fill it up with chicken broth, or vegetable broth. But the flavors in here is going to actually marry with the actual water, and it's going to give that water flavor. It's not going to give it the flavor that I would want it to give because it's not a broth, but that's okay. It's going to be fine because all the absolutely amazing flavors in the actual beans. So I did get some tomatoes on there, guys. I'm so happy with that. I'm so happy with that. Okay. Make sure you have no holes. Make sure everything, no air pockets. You want no air pockets in there, guys. So you can use your canning utensils to go down the sides of it to make sure that your jars have no actual pockets, air pockets in there. I've already did that off camera. So, but that's, you want to make sure you do that. Okay. So if you have chicken broth, homemade chicken broth in your house, I would recommend you use chicken broth. I'm just too tired to want to go out there and get it. So that's all that is. I'm just too tired to go out there and want to get it. That's just me. So okay. And then from here, we're going to start wiping the jars off with the vinegar to make sure that we don't have anything sitting on the jars that will allow them not to actually seal. So this is why this is so important, guys, to make sure. I don't know another thing that you can use but vinegar, because that's how I was taught to use it. But you want to make sure that nothing is going to stop you from sealing these jars. You put too much time in, so you want to make sure that your jars will seal. And that's what I'm doing right now. And so far, I have not really had an unsuccessful jar, which is good. I think in the beginning I had about one or two, but I haven't had a lot of that. You know, this is the part that I take my time, and I think that's why I don't show this a lot on camera, is because I want to concentrate and make sure that I get it correctly. So I think that's probably why I don't show a lot of it. Because if I get to talking and forget and miss a jar or something like that, so I think that's why I don't show a lot of it. And I do a lot of canning off camera because I'm still a newbie and I want to concentrate on a lot of things and make sure I got everything going. It can get overwhelming with all that vegetable and stuff on your counters, and it can get very overwhelming. So I try to take time and get into my comfort zone. Okay guys, I'm getting ready to put these in my... Hi guys, before I pressure can, I want to get something clear. You're gonna pressure can these for 25 minutes at 10 pounds. This is what my elevation states. Now, if you have a higher elevation, you need to follow the directions of the elevation because you're gonna have to add time to it. So mine will be pressure can, not water bath. It was a slip of the tongue, sorry guys. Pressure can for 25 minutes at 10 pounds. Okay guys, I'll show you the finished product. Hey guys, so the actual steam is coming down. The weight is still on the actual pressure canner. It's coming down from 10 to actually 0. When that is done, I will release take the actual weight off. I will unseal the actual lid, and then I will be careful and remove my actual jars because it's still very steamy and it's very hot. So you do want to be careful as you do this step as well. So right now it's just releasing the pressure. I have to get it all the way down to 0 before the actual pressure canner will release itself so that I can actually take the actual lid off. So guys, I'll get right back with you when this process is over. So guys, the actual first batch of the cans are out. I mean the jars. And I'm going to put some more jars in right now. These are going to sit and they're going to cool down for 24 hours. So I will not label these and do anything with these until actually tomorrow. So as these are cooling, I'm putting more in and getting everything prepared. So I'm going to try to keep going as much as I can for today. But thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for joining me on a homesteader life. And you're navigating this lifestyle with me. I'm so excited to share what I can with you. But before I let you go, you got to stay amazing. God bless, guys.